The plot for Intergalactic, the latest in a long line of repulsively hideous female main character video games, has supposedly leaked, including an unavoidable cutscene where all of your friends that you've gathered in the video game so far are executed in front of you one by one. Okay then. Now, I will say this immediately right off the bat here, this is pushing the limits of, if you will forgive me for the comparison, my journalistic integrity to the absolute limits and quite possibly beyond them as well, as this seems too stupid to be produced even in the current year. I am only going to talk about it because of two reasons. One, Naughty Dog has had pretty damn major story leaks before, so it's not entirely inconceivable that it could happen again due to a grumpy employee, and two, well, Neil Druckmann is exactly the kind of psychopath cat-raping person who might just do a scene like all of your friends are going to be executed now. Screw you! You cannot intervene. Hey. So, let's have a look at it. This is in essence a 4chan post, so douse yourself in salt as if you were about to enter a Shout My Abortion convention, okay? Let's get started here. The player character, Jordan, was a member of the Five Aces, a band of notorious criminals. Now that I can believe. The leader, Louis, Tony Dalton, disappeared without a trace, causing the five to drift apart. The reason for Jordan's shaved head and the absurd reaction to which ND fully expected, absurd indeed, is to serve the hiding of her identity, as she is a wanted criminal. The hiding of her identity. Already the spelling is beginning to look a little bit suspect, and furthermore, I want to point out as well this was apparently given out to a bunch of games journalists as a leak. Now, why would a disgruntled employee leak something like this to games journalists, of all people? Again, salt, a lot of it. Jordan works as a bounty hunter purely as a means to find her former partners, particularly Louise, who she sees as a father figure. Kumail Nanjiani plays Colin, the comic relief character. The tutorial and opening is on Sempion's moon, leading to Jordan's chasing Collins into space. An important note from the leak is that there will be no space combat. The aforementioned segment is a cutscene. As they fly into Semperia's atmosphere, an EMP wave would disable both ships, leading them to crash in different locations. The bulk of the game is described as an open-world Uncharted mixed with sci-fi elements. The majority of the enemy combatants are AI-driven machines, but with a wide variety of types. Melee, ranged, and even vehicle combat is in the game. The base of operation in the game is your crash ship, which can be customized. As you find each member of your old crew, they will join you on the ship with seamless interactions depending on the day-night cycles. Think Red Dead Redemption 2 in your search for Lewis. So far, this doesn't sound too far-fetched, because, yeah, the poster for the game does make it look as if you are going to be doing something on a world blockaded by something that you've been stranded on, you wielding a sword. Now, the Uncharted thing is a little bit sus, because if I remember correctly, I think that's a shooty game, so, you know, the sword thing there's a bit weird. The gist of the plot is that Louis sent a message to all members of the five. So the leader sent a message to the five members of his previous criminal band, excluding Jordan, who is our main character, to meet him on the planet. They were specifically instructed to come alone and not to mention this to the other members. Once three members of the crew beside Louis join you, the game takes a hard turn. All underground dwelling races of alien known as Semprenians kidnap Jordan's teammate. The ship with all its decorations and customization is destroyed, inspired by Mass Effect 2's Collector's event. The Semprians resemble humans with some notable differences, including the ability to sprout large insect legs that allow them to scale walls, as well as night vision. With more of a survival horror shift, you make your way through underground tunnels to try and save your crew. Me thinks that somebody's read H.G. Wells' The Time Machine one too many times at this point. Although I suppose the surface is not quite as paradisic as in that one. Eventually, you reach where they're held, but it is revealed Louis, your father figure, is preparing to execute them in front of a horde of angry Semprians. Why? Yeah. Jordan interrupts, begging to know why Lewis is doing this. Lewis explains the big twist of the game, that the Semprians were once humans who were teleported to the planet thousands of years ago as a side effect of the quantum experimentation needed to develop distant spacefaring technology. The quantum influence on the genetics rapidly advanced a stage of evolution to help them adapt to Semprians' harsh environments. When Lewis crashed on the planet, he found himself empathizing with their race, promising to help support their desire to return to Earth. Druckmann apparently had read Heart of Darkness, which inspired this plot point. It's a bit of a meme that Druckmann is apparently inspired by whatever he read last, and may I also profess a personal dislike of the book Heart of Darkness, as it is one of the leading piece of literature and entertainment that pushed a bit of the noble savage thing. The idea that the savage and the civilized man is not so different after all. I hard disagree. The civilized and the savage are miles apart, as can be demonstrated by the fact that even after about, 200 years of attempted colonization and imperialism, we were still unable to teach most of the savages how not to be savages, as demonstrated by the current situation of India and Africa, and to an extent America. I see how you people prepare food. Biscuits and gravy? Like, God, sodden slop, what is wrong with you? Yeah. The Semprian religion, founded by the heretic prophet, stated generations upon generations would suffer until a Messiah arrived to lead the Semprians to their ancestral home, where they would reclaim the land and purge its inhabitants. If the image of Israel popped into your mind right now, you are not alone. The AI software and battle machines on the planet was constructed over 1,000 years to assist in invading Earth. However, the technology needed for a ship to pierce Sempria's atmosphere without being disabled by its unique quantities could not be figured out. So the EMP field, which kind of coincides with like the weird thing in orbit there, that there's some kind of strange mechanic preventing people from leaving the planet. Jordan is forced to watch as each of her companions are shot in the head by Lewis. She begs to know why he's doing this. Lewis informs her that she was never meant to be here. It is why he didn't call her to come. He was using his former partner's presence on the planet as a means to an end. It is revealed that Lewis informed Galactic Paul that the fourth of the 5 aces would be on Sempria, and a fleet of police ships outfitted with EMP countering tech arrive at the planet. Lewis has an affection for Jordan, so he orders the Semprians to detain her while they fight the Galactic Paul and take their ships. Jordan escapes in the final act as the player tear through a war zone between the two sides, ultimately resulting in Jordan chasing Lewis down and killing him as he operates a huge tank, after which the player can choose to either help the Semprians or the Galactic Police, and then the game ends depending upon your choice at that point. So everything comes down to, do you sympathize with the genocidal murderous aliens that wish to return to Earth and eradicate all life upon it, because they were teleported to this planet by accident many years ago, or do you help the Galactic Police, which are coming to arrest yourself and your previous now executed friends? Now, this sounds on the one hand, you know what? Parts of this I find mildly appealing as well. Like the idea of having the Semprians be kind of like a hidden antagonist, because this is actually a plot point that I absolutely adore, that is tried out very, very rarely, if almost ever. It was a plot point in Farspace? Was the name Farspace? Yes, think Farspace 1, where you're fighting the Vesuvians, and the entire game seems to be set up around you fighting the Vesuvians. Vesuvians, something like that anyways. And there is no indication that anything else is going to be happening. You are waging a war against them, and then on a mission that seems to be like every other missions, the Vesuvians pop in, they attack your fleet as you're heading towards a massive gateway to teleport your ships out of there. And then, as you see a massive Vesuvian fleet off in the distance, you're like, oh god, okay, well, here we go. That's a massive warship. This is going to be the boss battle, right? It disappears. It is attacked, and you can, even if you lock onto it, you can see its shield and health just drain in seconds. You're like, okay, what the hell? And you even hear their distress call, like, who the shit is attacking us? And then comes the... what the what was their name again? I can't even remember. Mysterious aliens with tech you've never seen before, with weapons that tear through your comrade's shields like nothing, that destroy the fleet you're escorting as if it was made of paper, and who can't even be locked on by your weapons. And one of the most difficult challenges of the game is shooting one of the bastards down, even as their shields basically just repel all of your weapon shots, and you've got to keep on tracking them without any sort of HUD assistance, which, after like my 5th campaign, I think, I finally managed to do for that shiny little medal. That was a plot twist that I will never forget, because it was awesome. And so building that deep into the story, giving you AI enemies to fight against, and then giving you this race of people who created them, whilst also presumably presenting this race as something long gone, mysterious precursor race, for example, of creatures now long dead, etc. That is pretty damn cool. Now, as to why this previous guy, Lewis, arrives on this planet, finds them, and then goes, "Oh, I feel so bad for you. Of course I'll help you genocide Earth." Okay, I mean, that sounds absurd to me, but bear you in mind here, Naughty Dog is a rather progressive studio, and as we have seen on many occasions previously, the outgroup preference for your average Vocus Radical is, something to behold. So, I don't see it as entirely implausible either, but the big things that make me not believe this is, one, you sent this to journalists. Really? Mainstream journalists? You think that's the best way to disseminate anything today? Interesting. Two, the plot sounds a little bit too ambitious, a little bit too bonkers, a little bit too risky for Naughty Dog. Especially the killing off all of your friends and companions things. Now that would be an impactful as hell plot twist, no doubt about it. But after the, backlash from killing Joel, would they really have the sheer tungsten nuts required to do that again? And on a bigger scale? I don't know about that. I really don't know. So, metric ton of salt. I give this about a 10% chance of being real. Again, I'm not even sure I should be talking about this, honestly. But I like the idea of the plot point. The hidden enemy is one of my kind of favorite plot points, so I kind of wanted to bring it up. And again, there is some precedence for this happening at Naughty Dog, and some precedence as to Neil Druckmann being a bit of a crazy person when it comes to killing off fan favorite characters. So deal with this what you will, chat. Until next time, I have been Arch. Thank you all very much for listening, and I do hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.